I originally moved to Dubai back in 2002 as cabin crew with Emirates. My idea was to really target people who were coming on holiday and to help them with where to shop in Dubai, what to buy, what's different, with the different cultures that we've got here. Business quickly pivoted into me offering personal styling and shopping services to those that lived in Dubai.
Welcome to Off the Hanger, the fashion podcast where we delve deep into our guests' wardrobes, finding out their favourite fashion pieces and the stories behind them. This week's guest is the gorgeous Kelly Lundberg. She's a personal branding expert, an international speaker, an author, and a former personal and celebrity stylist. We had a great chat about all the gorgeous things in her wardrobe. I hope you enjoy this episode. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us on Off the Hanger. It is really lovely to chat with you today. Firstly, I want to dive into your incredible career because before we hit record, we were just saying about the wide range of amazing things that you have got up to in your career.
Yeah, so it's been 20 years and it's been a long time, but thank you so much for inviting me on. What a pleasure to kind of come back full circle and to talk all things fashion and style. And I think even from when I first started my very first business 20 years ago to even now, style, what you wear, your brand, your image, it still all plays a really important part. And even my job that first brought me to the Middle East, which was cabin crew, style and how you present yourself, like it's always been there, and I think it always will be. So I originally moved to Dubai back in 2002 as cabin crew with Emirates. So it was a great opportunity to kind of travel the world, experience what life was like living outside Edinburgh and being away from crap weather which we were just chatting about beforehand. But no, it was also a great opportunity to travel the world, and at 21 I wasn't really sure about what I wanted to do. I had actually worked in retail in Scotland kind of at the weekends, at Christmas time, extra hours in the summer, all of that in between sort of school, but yeah, that wasn't on my radar to necessarily go back into it. And then a couple of years after living in Dubai, it was very much kind of, oh wow, this is a city that's about to explode. And in 2005, I decided that I wanted to be part of this kind of entrepreneurial bug that was going around, and it was utterly contagious. It was kind of like, oh, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. And I decided to kind of pull all my expertise that I'd kind of developed in that kind of short 5 years, because I was only, 24 at the time, and launch what was then the Middle East's first personal shopping and styling agency. And Dubai was really selling itself at the time as the next big, tourist destination. So it's easy to see that now, but in 2003, 4, it wasn't there. Burj Khalifa wasn't built yet. Like none of that was around. So it's amazing to see how far it's come. And my idea was to really target people who were coming on holiday and to help them with where to shop in Dubai, what to buy. It's really hot. Where are all the best things? What's different? With the different cultures that we've got here. But quickly realized that that was not a target market that was going to happen quickly. And in actual fact, the business quickly pivoted into me offering personal styling and shopping services to those that lived in Dubai. And what was happening was, it was really interesting because fashion and styles change so much over the years, as you know, but one of the things was people moved to Dubai in 2000, 2005 with this preconceived idea that it was super hot. Women brought linen, like very casual and stuff, thinking that this was the kind of thing that they needed to wear. And then all of a sudden they're like, you go out for brunch at the weekend and you would wear what you would wear if you were going to a wedding. Like it's so dressy. And I think that is also because in those days the alcohol licenses were only in 5-star hotels. So automatically all the places in the establishments you were going, it was much dressier. So people just had no idea what to wear. It's cold inside because of the AC, it's hot outside. How do I look stylish on the school run? What do I wear for work? And this basically became the start of my business for kind of 15 years. So that's kind of a snapshot that basically took me up to, I had it for 15 years. I sold the styling agency. I worked with a number of celebrities, traveled the world with kind of real top key entrepreneurial clients. And for the last 5 years, I've brought style into it, but I've really brought personal branding to small business owners, to large scale organizations. And I learned quite early on in my business career that having a personal brand is one thing and having a business is another. And there really is two key elements to that. And now I've been doing that for the past 5 years and I love it because I still get my hand a little bit in the styling, but I'm able to serve and support and inspire so many more people in what it is that I do now that I'm just so happy.
What an incredible journey. I think that's fantastic. And you have got that balance of you still get to be involved in the aesthetic, but it's the overall approach to the brand as well as just, the superficial that we see.
Yeah, and where I would maybe step in is the digital presence in terms of the identity, what it looks like. But even before that, what do they want to be seen as? So a lot of times when they're doing their photo shoots, I'll help them style for that so that they can feel more confident doing their shoot. And then they're like, "Ooh, I like this style. This is how I want to be known." So I'm still in that space. I've got a client this morning that just sent me 60 pictures. So obviously she was trying on stuff this weekend, and I'm like, "Send me some shots," and I'm like, I think we might need to go and do some shopping because nothing that she's quite sent me is quite right for the next evolution of her brand and where I see it going.
And I think that's sometimes that you need an outsider with that level of expertise to look in on you and your business. Because I think quite often as women and as Brits, we tend to downplay ourselves a lot rather than going, oh no, I want to be this big, bright, bold, beautiful thing. We go, oh no, I'm okay just being here behind the scenes, just getting the work done. And actually, you need to be up here to get the work up to that level.
It's so true. And I see that, I probably see that more in women than I do men. If we're talking about, percentages of even clientele that I work with, very much so. They'd far rather let their work speak for itself. But then the challenge with that is now there's people less qualified, there's people that maybe haven't got the breadth of experience or the skill set, but they're being overlooked. And that's what I don't want to happen. Certainly to the clients that work with me, it's no, we need to change that. And how do you do it in a way that's not showing off? And your style can be part of that as well. What subtle things that people can notice that they're like, oh wow, oh, she's really upped her pictures. I've really seen the content that she shares. It just looks a little bit more high end or more polished or more together. And there's subtle ways that you can bring it in.
And did you love fashion as a child as well? Obviously, it's been a very big part of your life.
Yeah, my mum always used to say, she used to get quite frustrated and she'd be like, I don't understand, you can put on anything and it always looks good on you. And I never really understood what that meant. So she always laughs at that and she's like, even still now that works. Like I've always very much been a off the peg shopper. And I've been on the other side where I see all clients who are not off the peg shoppers, and I get that it's frustrating. But as a child, my mum used to make us clothes. So kind of quite early on, she would let us go to a fabric shop in Scotland, in Edinburgh, called Remnant Kings, and she would let us go and pick one outfit and we could pick the fabric and then she would make it for us. And this used to be a bit of a treat around holidays. And I remember, I must see if I can find this picture for you, but it would be mid-80s, and I remember my mum saying to me, are you sure you want this fabric? And I was like, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But it was proper like psychedelic yellow, and like it was so bright and it was so out there, but it was a jumpsuit. And still to this day, I absolutely love jumpsuits. Love them.
I love that. I love that you loved them from a child and they've continued through your life. Even as a young age, you were like, right, I am embracing the bright colours.
Yeah, I mean, I would say less so now. I do bright colors and much more neutrals, but oh my God, my mom was like, are you sure you want that? I was like, I love it. love it. I want to wear it on the plane, in that environment. I don't know if you're like this, but certainly it was something when we were younger, we would always get a new outfit for the aeroplane journey of us going on holiday. And that was my plane outfit.
Oh, that's such a good story. What is the oldest thing in your wardrobe?
Well, thankfully I still don't have that. Um, I was really thinking about this. So I think the oldest thing that I've got, it's not something that I was bought, but it was passed down, was a dress that my granny used to wear in Africa. So my mum was born in Africa and they moved back to the UK. That would have been in the 60s. So my granny used to wear it in the 60s and I have it. And I did a shoot in it and it's kind of like garden party. It's very 60s. It comes out colorful, but it fits. So that's probably the oldest thing. And the oldest thing that I've bought and still wear would probably be a Jean Paul Gaultier dress that I bought for the launch of my business in 2005. And I remember really struggling to find something that would really mark this occasion of launching the Middle East first styling agency, and OK magazine were coming to the launch. So there was a lot of pressure in this. And I actually ended up getting it from a pre-loved store. And I remember at the time, I was new in business and I felt, so guilty spending all this money. And it was, I think at the time, then £250, maybe £300, which seemed so much. But, I still wear it. Like there's still a time and a place for it. And I absolutely love it.
I think it's really nice to have those pieces that are a marker of achievement. It was like the launch of your business, and there's so many memories tied into that of how
Yeah.
that then, carried on through your life. I think it's great that you've still got it, you still wear it.
Yeah, I do keep it kind of in tissue, and it's always like, oh, if I don't know what to wear, because it's kind of in between. It's not a black tie, like it's black, it's dressy, but it's not floor length, but it's also not more cocktail. It's got sleeves, so it works. It really works.
Now, what's the piece in your wardrobe that gets the most compliments?
Ooh, that is a good question. I would say probably one of my Zimmerman dresses.
I love
Everyone all
them.
Yeah, everyone loves a bit of Zimmerman. And interestingly, last year, I won 10 million Amber points. So that would be the equivalent to like Harvey Nick. Amber is a point system for Harvey Nichols and Bloomingdale's. And with all the spends that I had done, in the previous 12 months, they pulled my name out and I had won 10 million like Harvey Nichols points basically. And at first, the man, when he called me, he said, just calling to let you know that you've won this 10 million Amber points. And I was like, this is a total scam. Like, what do you want? And he's like, no, I can assure you, this is not a scam. And the reality is, what that equated to was 10,000 dirhams. And that in UK would maybe be something like £2,300. So I remember going in to Harvey Nichols going, oh my God, what am I going to buy? I'm going to buy a bag and probably that's about it. Or maybe I'll do this and then get one other thing. And it was my then fiance. He said, you know what? I really think you should buy something that you would never, ever buy.
Yeah.
And I've got one Zimmerman dress and I went and looked. He picked it, to be honest. Um, and I remember going, wow, that was £1,500 for a dress that, how many times am I going to wear it? It's a beautiful peach color. And he's like, this is the whole point of it. I was like, yeah, but I could buy a bag and wear that more often. He's like, no, you've won this money or these points, buy something. And I get so many comments when I wear it. And it was so nice because it was our wedding last year. So I wore it the night before we got married. And I wore it at the Dubai World Cup as I was a judge there. So it's had quite a few outings.
That's an incredible story. I love that happened. Like,
Yeah.
that's a dream. But I think he's right. I do think he's right. Our sensible nature wants us to go and buy the sensible thing.
Totally.
Lots of work, like lots of wear out of. But actually, when you take a step back, you go, no, That's the purchase for the thing I've saved up for. That's for my hard-earned money. That should be the sensible thing. When you've won something like this, it should be, no, I'm going to buy the frivolous. I'm just going to buy something wild because why not?
Yeah, and the fact that he picked it, and I was like, oh wow, and he was like, just try it on, and I was like, okay, and then I was like, oh my God, it fits amazing. So yeah, love it.
You don't have to share how much, but what is the most expensive piece lurking in your wardrobe?
Um, yeah, I'd probably say the Zimmerman dresses are up there. Wedding dresses are up there. I would probably say shoes are up there. I've got quite a few pairs of Louboutins that sadly I don't wear anymore, because they're the kind of old school platform style. But
Same.
I remember being obsessed with this turquoise pair, and I love them. And I remember thinking, oh my God, this is so much money. I can't believe I'm going to buy these. But I did. And I was so proud of them that I actually wore them to go and meet Christian Louboutin at the store opening in Dubai. Like I could barely walk in them, but I can't bear to get rid of them. So I still have them to this day. So they're something that kind of sit there going, it's quite an expensive purchase that I don't use all I haven't worn in quite a long time.
Did he appreciate them? Did he notice them?
Yeah, I'm trying to think now if he did. I don't know if he did because I had also taken along with me at the time. I had a beautiful big Christian Louboutin coffee table book, and I really wanted him to sign it. So I remember just being so preoccupied, going, "Can you sign my book?" Whereas everyone was, I was like, can you sign my shoes?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't want my shoes signed. I want my book signed."
I want to wear my shoes. I want you to sign the
Exactly.
book.
Exactly.
What's the newest addition in your wardrobe?
The newest addition. Oh, that's a very good question. I'll be very honest and very transparent. I have done very little shopping this year because I had a poop job a few weeks ago and I really wanted to wait to buy something with my new shape. And I'm so excited. So the transparency is, I haven't really bought anything because I've been like, well, when I get my new boobs, they're going to be so much better and things are going to fit differently. And I was actually shopping with a client just on Friday there, and the excitement, I was like, just focus. Like, and I was like, oh, but that could look nice. Oh, and maybe that will look nice. And it was, okay, calm down. You're going to come back. You're going to come back. So, and the reality is, I think just honestly, this year, there's been very little I have bought. I did get a couple of dresses from, I've never bought anything from this brand, but I was really struggling to find, I say, nice beachy summery stuff in January. Even in Dubai, when the weather's beautiful, there was nothing. So I went online to this site called Opoly. I've never bought anything from
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I know.
And they have some fabulous kind of dresses that work really well. So I bought two dresses for the holiday that was just on in the Maldives, but that's been it. So there is a massive shop happening soon.
Impending.
Yes, yeah,
Massive
absolutely.
shop impending.
Absolutely. Has
What are
anyone
you
else
most
shared that?
excited for? What are you most excited for buying to dress them in? Is it bikinis? Is it a dress? Is it tops? What's the thing where you're like, I can't wait to see what they look like in this?
It's actually surprised me quite a lot what I thought. So I spend a lot of time in the gym. So gym wear without padding. I'm excited to try, the nice crossovers, and I've always had to wear padding. So that is one thing. But the surprising bit was bikinis. So for someone who lives in a hot country a lot of the time, I have mostly swimming costumes, and I didn't realize that I actually had so many swimming costumes with, like, I've got swimming costumes with bows, with frills, with everything on it, but it's all a bit of a distraction from what was happening in this area. So I'm actually quite excited to go and buy a skimpy a skimpy bikini. Whether or not I'll choose to wear it, but I'm excited to try it on and see what it might look like. So that's something I can't wait for. And just little crop tops without bras, like it sounds ridiculous, but little things like that, I can't wait. So I've got a lot of dresses that I'd kind of stopped wearing that were kind of crossovers or that were cut out, and I'm looking forward to going and trying those on.
Yeah, for me, it'd be something backless. Like the
Yeah.
idea of wearing something fabulous and backless and not having to worry about the bra situation, I'd be like, oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So no, and I think what's been quite interesting because it's been a bit over time because in my 20s I had all of that. Like I didn't have a big bust, so I never worried really about a bra. And then kind of I thought in my 30s I maybe started to, and it was certainly in my late 30s that I was like, oh God, you need to invest in like, decent bras and decent padding and decent, like the shape starts to go. And then it was literally in the last 12 months that I was like, okay, I can't seem to wear. I have got this, I'm obsessed with stars. So I tend to buy anything that's got stars on it. And I have this star dress actually that I saw someone wear at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and it was black with stars on it. And I remember going up to her going, "Excuse me, can you tell me where your dress is from?" And I had just started dating my boyfriend at the time. And he's like, "Oh, it's really weird." And I was like, "I love her dress." And she was like, "Oh, it's just from Topshop." And it's backless and like quite small here. And I remember the next day I went and bought it and I loved it. And I tried it on recently and I'm like, that just doesn't work for me anymore, but I still have it. So watch this space. Let's see if I can resurrect it now with it.
Oh, brilliant. What's the most sentimental piece in your wardrobe?
I'd probably say my wedding dresses. And I have two.
I was
We
going to
got
say,
married.
you mentioned plural there. I need to know the details of
Yes,
the two.
yeah, I have two, and my husband and I got married in the Seychelles, and it was just the two of us. It was utterly stunning. It was a big dream of mine to want to go back to the Seychelles because I wrote my desire statement, and my desire statement's a bit like a manifestation document that you write as if it's already happened. And I was in the Seychelles with my mum when I initially wrote that in 2018, I think it would have been 2018. And then what happened? I met him 6 weeks later after that. So Seychelles was always, do you know what? I want to meet a husband, and I want to one day come back and get married. So 5 years later, we went back and got married in the Seychelles. So it was a real personal thing. So I had a stunning dress for that. But then we had a massive party slash celebration in Scotland. And the dress that I got for the Seychelles was beautiful, but it's the beach. Like it would have been lost against a backdrop in Scotland in an old castle. So I went shopping with my mum and I ended up with another dress. So I have two and they're both so different. I'll share pictures. And they're both the dress, the one for Scotland, I love. It has a wee split up the front and it had pockets. And I'm obsessed with dresses with pockets. So I feel really lucky that I've got two and they're both just as special. So there's something else I need to go and try on, and I don't know if they'll fit now.
They might fit, they just might be a very different look.
They might be quite booby.
What's the piece you would say most sums you up?
Oh, I would say easily would be a slip dress from All Saints, a sweater over the top, and biker boots. Like that is my go-to. And now I think, there's slip skirts everywhere. But I would have said I've been doing that for the past 5 years and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So that would be kind of my thing.
I love the mix of that because you've got the cozy with the jumper, you've got the glamour of the slip, and then you've got the edginess of the boots. I think it
Yeah.
works so nicely.
Love it. I really love it. And even I think I even asked my husband this, and I was like, "What would you say is the outfit you see me most in?" And that was it. So I was like, "Okay, we're on the same path."
Now, have you ever had a wardrobe malfunction or a fashion faux pas? And would you? Yeah, you're laughing.
Um,
I know that you've got one.
I have loads of wardrobe malfunctions, but that is more primarily in the gym. The amount of times that I end up wearing my gym clothes inside out. I am a early morning gym goer, so up at 4:30 and walk to the gym in the dark. And it's usually when I'm in the mirror going, they look different. Oh God, they're on back to front. I have to go and do the walk of shame to the bathroom and back again. So that is one of them. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do look back now at some pictures of when I first started my business, and I'm like, I was a stylist, but I've also got to think it was, 2005. And I think 2000 and 2003, 4, 5, 6, it was a bit of a nothing era. It's there's never really anything that I can really think of except for your the skinny jeans and the long flowy top. And I find that it was a really tough, when I look back now, a styling decade. There's quite a few probably in there that I could dig up and I'll be like, oh God, yeah, forgot about that.
I think the noughties was so problematic in terms of style. I was so in that era of really loving fashion and really loving trends and things. And so I was full on with the skinny jeans and the peppermint top and the big necklace and the platform shoes.
The
Or
big necklace, yeah.
the big necklace. And then you would do the boho, so the tiered skirt and the disc belt and the vest top and the little headband. And I just honestly, I'm like, oh no, we were really done dirty with that decade. I feel none of
Yeah.
us performed well then.
There's an interesting woman that makes me laugh a lot on Instagram where she does all these styling videos of dressing in that era, and I'm like, oh, yes, oh, I had that. No, let's not discuss that. So, yeah.
It was tough. It was tough. If you grew up through that decade and that was one of your peak kind of fashion moments, I think come your 30s and 40s, you are so much more stylish now.
I think so. Yeah, and I think you know what you like and what works for you, and yeah, and I think also then I think now I found sort of my brands that I like. So I know that when I go to maybe an event, I love self-portrait. I like Zimmerman. I like Ackler. I like I'm trying to think, Elliot. There's some brands that I'm like, I know I really like those, so I can go to it, and then it's not going to be too much of a disaster in 10 years' time.
Exactly. You're not going to be looking back traumatized.
Yeah.
What are your favorite shoes? Are you quite a heels person? Do you love a trainer? What's your favorites?
I would say my absolute go-to are Malone Soliers. I love them. And so much so, it's probably the only shoe that I've ended up buying the same color in a smaller heel height, because I have reached that point where I just find they're mostly my speaking on stage shoes now. I wouldn't, when I was celebrity styling, I used to shop in heels. Like I could do 4 or 5 hours in Louboutins. It's probably why my feet are a mess now. But my go-to on stage shoe are a pair of Malones. Love them. I think I maybe have, I don't know, six, no, maybe 8 pairs, maybe. But I've definitely gone down to the smaller heel height. And especially if I'm speaking and doing a workshop that's 4 hours, then I'm like, okay, it's tough on the feet. Trainers, I am a massive Golden Goose. I think I've got maybe 4 or 5 of those. And um, the other ones that are really comfortable, Axel Arigato.
Yes,
Really like
really
them.
good. I love Malone Souliers. They are just gorgeous. Really, really beautiful brand. They always
Yeah,
have so beautiful pieces.
yeah. And my most recent addition, but I say probably my most expensive purchase, but it wasn't this year, it was last year, if we're talking shoes. I forgot about them actually, was I bought a pair of Christian Dior cowboy boots.
Nice.
And yeah, and I remember thinking, okay, but they're very in, and I kind of feel that there's something that are going to be in and out and in and out. And do they ever go out? So actually that was something, but that was just at the end of last year. So yeah.
What color are they? Which ones did you go for?
Black. They're just like black kind of rubbery texture ones. So I haven't had we actually got tickets at Christmas time to go to Ushuaia, which there was a DJ playing called Black Coffee. And I remember thinking, right, okay, this is an open air beach club. And I was like, right, I'm going to wear my shorts and the weather is cool enough. And I'm going to put my cowboy boots on. And I had my outfit all ready. And then we read the small print that he wasn't basically coming on till 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. So we decided not to go.
Oh my God. I can't do that. You see, I am such a nana. I am so not a late night person. My
Agreed.
husband is like does music producing and DJing and all that kind of stuff. So he loves if he went out at 10 o'clock at night. That'd be absolutely fine for him to leave the house
Yeah.
and go out at 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, no, 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 no. I want to go out early and I want to be home by 10 o'clock. That's fine for me.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, we did not go to that night out.
Oh no. But the outfit was still serving, even if it didn't get seen.
Exactly. It's still there. It's still one I can pull out.
Exactly. It's just waiting for the perfect occasion. Now, is there a dream fashion item that you're lusting after? Something that you can have, it doesn't have to be practical or it doesn't have to be available. It could just be something magically that is gifted to you. What would you have?
I would say what's always been on my list is an Hermes Kelly bag.
Nice. Which Kelly would you have?
To be fair, at this stage, I'd take any.
Okay, fine. Same. Same. If somebody's giving me one, I wouldn't be picky.
Exactly. Let's not be fussy with it at all. But yeah, I think everything that I do in business, I love the story behind it. And I think being my name is Kelly, I feel like that would be the one kind of aspirational piece that I'd go one day I'd like to own in any sort of shape or form, size I would take. It'd be all good.
Perfect. Great answer. To finish on, is there a piece of fashion advice that you would have given to your younger self?
Uh um do you know what? That actually is. And I think it's quite interesting when we look back. I remember my whole of my 20s, I didn't like my knees. And it sounds really stupid, but I used to play sport. I used to play a lot of field hockey and I used to fall a lot. So my knees were quite often scraped and I felt they were scarred and I felt they just didn't look that nice. And I feel that I spent most of my 20s wearing dresses and skirts and trousers that covered my knees. And I wished I could give myself that. I think not even style advice, but it would be confidence advice, which a lot of the time style is that confidence armor to go, do you know what? Your knees and your legs are great. Don't worry about it. Pull off that shorter skirt because you can do it now at this age. So that would be personal to me.
That's such good advice. I think we do get fixated on these little hang-ups of either somebody's made a little comment or it's just something that we personally feel about ourselves.
Yeah,
And then we get so obsessive about it that it ends up really changing how we dress and how we feel about ourselves.
yeah.
And in reality, nobody else is thinking about that. I bet nobody, if you'd gone out in a short skirt, was going, oh, wow, look at her knees. Nobody
Yeah,
would even notice
exactly.
their knees. They were too busy worrying about, their elbows or their hair or their ears or whatever it was.
So true, so true. So that would be my piece. It's just wear it, don't keep things for special occasions. Wear it, feel good in it, and do it for you.
That is fabulous advice to finish on. Thank you so much for being a
You
guest.
are welcome. It was my pleasure.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that chat. If you did, please remember to recommend Off the Hanger to a friend.